Well, anyway, I don't know, just thought I'd send out this quick one here. I just getting ready for the test. That's kind of how I view uh, voting every year. It's like it's this it's everybody's choice for democracy and to have what they want their government to look like, to have what they feel is best for their needs and for what they are trying to do. And you got one party on one side who's got a different ideology that I'm not, and like I said, I'm not going to go for it. You got two parties, right? Then there's other third options and that kind of stuff, and you know, I mean, really, I think what it comes down to is this: are, knowing who you are to vote for, best lines up with what you are trying, what you believe, and going, and there's some, and it's a shame that there's too many people out there that just don't know any better, and they'll just keep voting for the same person because, okay, so be it, I mean, if both the people are of the same party or whatever or what have you, then one guy, that's kind of how I look at it when it comes to judges. In some ways, if I don't know who the judge is or anything like that, then guess what? I'm just gonna. This sounds bad, but I'll check the one that's not the incumbent. But hey, you know what? It's a free world, right? You know. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Next thing is like, I will say this, that if you have a knack for politics and you just love that world, then I strongly encourage you to really think about, and I know it's still too late on this round, but in two years we got another round, okay? Another round where everybody's gonna have a chance to go to their caucus and partake in that democracy, and that's an important part of. That's a lot of things. A lot of what people, if you really want a certain view, a certain candidate, then that's the first part, the first step that you make in making sure that candidate gets on the ballot for everybody to for everybody to choose. You know, and I can think back to, this is years ago now, but I mean, me and my brother would go to the caucus, and it was just, man, it was some wild, crazy times. But you know what? God love and respect them. It's a party. That's why they say it's a party, I guess, because that it truly is. You know, and when you go to those caucuses, I tell you, that's straight up, and it's you get some very opinionated people that care deeply about the government that they have, and making sure that it is what they really want it to be. And if you don't go and vote for it, hey, listen, this is my thing, right? And I know Mac probably say the same thing, but I'm gonna say it like this. If you don't go out there, make your voice heard tomorrow, and make it known, don't complain on November 7th, I believe. Yeah. So don't complain that on Wednesday when your guy didn't win office. That, oh yeah. Yeah, so don't complain on November 7th, 2018 that, oh, I didn't want that guy. Well, did you vote? No, I didn't. What are you talking about? You have nothing to talk about. You have nothing to you know.
For the far left, they're about smears. Angie Craig won't tell you she wants to raise your taxes or that she's against work requirements for welfare.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of that stuff to me just makes common sense. But that's me. You know, it's like, and no knock and no disrespect to anybody else that's a different, has a different ideology, different view, and that's fine. That is perfectly fine. You know, as long as you go out there, you make your voice heard, you make it known who you want in that office. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. That is an act of democracy that's like your God-given right. You know, to be able to go out there and be able to go out there, make it known who you want to represent you. Because that's what, you know, if you don't, then you're gonna you don't make it known who you want, then guess what? You're gonna end up with whatever comes along. It's like, no. If you You know, I will say this too, that hey, it gets a little tiring watching all these political ads, one after other. It's like, I don't understand. To me, it's like how there's so many people that don't know who to vote for. They just are kind of like, or, you know, well, I mean, I don't mind if you have a certain party, that's fine and good. But whatever it does, whatever ideology, oh, please, I hope to God it makes sense for you, because that's all that matters. You know, when you think about it, think about it logically. What is it? What's going to make the most sense? What am I standing for? You know, what you do tomorrow is your voice. Make your voice heard loud and clear. Who it is that you want? And that's really all I have to say on that, because I got a lot of people, they get so bogged down with watching too many ads, the media. You know, we get bombarded all the time with, you know, and that's fine. And that's unfortunate, and that's just politics. People are just trying to make themselves look good. Trying to make themselves look like, hey, I really care for you, when they really don't. All they care about is the dollars. You know, government as a whole is filled with career politicians, and I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. You need to have people. I think you need to have more people that are your average everyday Joe plumber, Joe construction worker, who is not a career politician, is not a lawyer. Now, granted, yeah, you need to have lawyers. You need to have all those people that because they are the ones at the forefront writing the laws. You know, you need to have people that have the nuts to be able to stand up and make their point clear. Make their voice heard in a way that people are going to listen, not cram it down your throat. Not, hey, this is why I want, basically choke slam you to the ground and make it known that way. But versus, hey, you know, I'm going to use my voice and make that crystal clear to you what I really believe, what I really want, why I believe this. You know, so that's really all I got to say on that one. I mean, I keep going on that, but you know what? Just, you know what to do. No pressure. Yeah, that's one thing about it too. Is like no pressure, right? As you're sitting in that polling booth and you're like, God dang it, who'd I vote for? Yeah, I can't believe it. Yeah, there's so many people out there that are undecided. They don't know who to vote for. It's not my job to tell you who to vote for. You know, to me, it's like you do what you know to do on your inside. When you look at the ideologies, look at the parties, look at all that stuff, what best represents the worldview that you want to have? What best represents your values of what you want out of life, or what you want your government to look like? You know, this is the one time that every couple of years that we have a say and what in making it crystal clear, what do you want your government to look like? Do you want it to look like, I'm not going to go into a laundry list. That's, you know what? You already know what's going on. If you pay attention to the news, you watch the YouTube videos, you already know what's going on in the world. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. If you're at all glued to CNN, Fox, ABC, NBC, all those, you know exactly what's going on. Election. Here we go again. And that's fine and good. I can think back to the day when I met some of the politicians that I elected. And that was always kind of this whole thing. And that's the one thing about going back to the whole caucus thing. That's the one thing that you do encounter when you are when you decide to go be part of your caucus and be part of the political process that goes into deciding who goes on a ballot. And that's a powerful thing to have that. And there's so many people that haven't really done that. To be basically the guy that is basically doing all that. I'm just trying to think back to some of the guys that I met. People that I think that were pretty average, everyday people. Not so much the Boschwitz, kind of along those lines, though. But you get what I'm saying. I never met Jason Lewis, never met any of the guys that are running for office right now. But that's the one thing I dislike all the smear ads, no matter who it is. It's like. But this is the mudslinging that goes on with politics, how we try to make ourselves look better when really... I'll never forget this. It sounds so bad that it was like this. I couldn't have been any more clear. It was like, vote Democrat. I'm like, okay. I mean, that's the one thing I dislike. How certain people will make another person out to be the scumbag, douchebag, whatever you want to call it.
He's not thinking about us.
And here we go again. The hot button issues, it seems like our healthcare, immigration, national security, all these things that we a lot of times take for granted. Human trafficking, taxes. Those are all things that I think that we, if it comes down to having to pay more or less taxes, or having laws put on the books that best represent you as an American, as a citizen of the United States, citizen of whatever state you're from, and so that's really all I gotta say now. Just go out there, take care of responsibilities, have fun, sit back and watch popcorn. Sit back and have a bag of popcorn. What else can you do, right? That's all you can do. See, a lot of people look at it like, well, just go get it done. It's like, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like getting a shot to the arm. Every 2 years, you go in, you get shots. Like every fall. Hey, let's go get our flu shot. Sorry. That's the truth. I don't get all flu shots, but anyway, it is what it is. Here we go, more attack ads. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. It's the same stuff time and time again. You know what? You could block out all the commercials, all the ads, and just look at their voting record. That's really what a person should do. See, all the attack ads do is just provide sustenance. Anybody that has a brain should not be using ads to decide who you vote for. You gotta look at how they voted. What is their voting record? Is their voting record Does that line up with what I want my government to look like? Does that line up with what I believe who I am? If that doesn't, figure it out. Look at your options, and that's really all there is to it. You know, but you gotta. I don't know. It's like it's a tough. It's like we could tackle healthcare, right? And it's like, okay, well, what about one size fits all? Does that really fit in the world today? I don't know. I mean, I would have to say no, because there's a lot of. I mean, it's great to have healthcare, and
And Tammy's standing up for bets too.
Tammy Baldwin.
what is that?
Tammy Baldwin. She's putting Wisconsin first.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I don't remember that person. That's what happens when you live on the border or real close to Wisconsin. You're like, oh, who's that? I don't recognize that person. This is like a nonstop. Have you ever seen like oh boy.
And Wardlow says he wants to politicize the AG's office, vowing to fire 42 staff attorneys just because of their political party.
Okay. Oh, I can't have a laugh. It's like, that's just so funny, because it's like people, anybody that bases their choice off of an ad, really, seriously, time out. Take a look at what, because it's all semantics. It's all based on you. It's all meant to make somebody else out to look bad and make this person look great. And then, and it's like, I'm sorry. It's too funny, because it's like, I can't make that up. You're gonna slam somebody else just so you can make yourself look better. I get it, it's politics. But really what you should be doing is, hey, you should be encouraging everybody to go look at their voting record. Go look at, and if they're first time, there should be, most of the time, if they've made it to this stage in the game, there is some voting record, unless they're, they've never been in politics before, and that does happen. Where you have your, more than likely, most of these people that are running for office have been in politics at some point, so then you know how they're going to vote. And you should be able to just go on down the line, look, what did they vote for? Or you find a guide, a nonpartisan guide, that will tell you every issue and how they voted. And you base it off of that. And is that what I want things to look like? My world to look like? And then go from there. And not be like, not be sitting there glued to a TV, skull full of mush, and just do whatever they say on TV. You cannot base everything off of like a smear ad. A smear ad is meant to, it's all semantics, the music, the tone of voice. All those things are meant to draw you away from this person. Hey, go vote for me. And then it's like, but so just vote your conscience. Vote for what's right. What's righteous, but also vote for what you know is right on the inside of your heart. Okay? And that's really all I can say. I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, vote for this person or that person. You know who to vote for. I mean, you're it's exercising your right to have democracy, your right to be part of that process. So don't neglect that, or don't forget about that, because like I said, that's the most important thing that you can do as an American, is to vote, is make your voice heard, and your voice heard makes a difference. It makes a difference in the people around you. Makes a difference in terms of the government that you want. And I know this, that government cannot solve your problems. Government cannot solve everything that you got going on in your life. But in a lot of ways they do affect. The government, unfortunately, they affect there's so many different regulations, from the gas that you buy to the taxes that you pay year to year. Is a direct correlation to the government you have. Is a direct relation to, okay, well, we have this, we have that. What's your worldview? What kind of laws do you want passed? Those are all things that you have to weigh versus just, hey, let's just check the box. There's some people that probably go into the polling place, right? And they treat it like the lottery. They're not serious about it. They just kind of willy-nilly, let's see what I can do today. Sorry. That's fine. But be a little more serious about it. Not just this. Okay. Think about what it is that you're doing, and not just do it just out of habit. Like, do it something. Put more meaning and more meaning about what you're doing. So that's really all I'm saying on that. Peace out.